You can find peace after divorce a lot faster than you thought. In fact, it takes only 30 days to stop the pain and get your ex-wife out of your head. Sound crazy? Sound too good to be true? It's possible. You just need one key piece of information that most people are missing, and this is why so many men stay stuck after divorce for years, 2 years, 6 years, 10, I've even seen 12 years, men getting stuck after divorce. Then they learn this, and they're able to shift in an incredibly rapid amount of time. The key fact that most people miss is that healing from divorce is an emotional issue. Instead of addressing the emotion, most people try to solve this emotional problem with their logical brain. And you cannot solve an emotional problem from the logical brain for a very, very simple reason. The logical brain is the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. It's right here on either side of your head. It has no direct neural connections to the limbic system. So all of that thinking you're doing, the wondering why, the trying to unpack it, the asking, is she right? Am I a narcissist? Am I a bad guy? Am I controlling? Am I abusive? Or am I the good one in this? All that back and forth. I don't deserve to be treated this way. Maybe I do deserve to be treated this way. All of that, trying to figure it out, going back and cataloging, reliving every conversation with her, reliving every memory in the marriage, all of that problem solving you're trying to do in your brain that just is going in circles. It's going in circles because that part of your brain is not communicating with your limbic system. And if you want to recover from divorce, if you want the overwhelming emotional pain to stop, if you want all of those ruminating thoughts to stop, if you want to be able to let her go, you have to learn how to work with the limbic system, how to engage with the emotional brain. There's a process, an emotional regulation process that I teach all of my clients called limbic awareness. It's very simple. It's just 3 steps. And what it does is it engages the medial prefrontal cortex. It's the part of your prefrontal cortex that's right here in the center of your forehead. That part of the brain has direct neural connections to the limbic system. When it's active, it sends a calming message to your limbic system. It says, I'm safe. And that helps you drop out of fight or flight. There's a second level of detail here that most people don't understand. So much of the pain you're experiencing post-divorce, it's not even because of your emotions. It's because of the panic response your brain has to your emotions. So she's leaving. There's a ton of stress. There's financial uncertainty. You don't know what's going to happen with the kids, right? Your whole future that you had envisioned for yourself, your retirement, all of those plans have changed. So there's naturally going to be emotions that come up. This is a disruptive life event, and disruptive life events trigger human emotion. You're going to feel fear. You're going to feel anxiety. You're going to feel anger. You're going to feel guilt and shame, probably regret, resentment, the whole spectrum. But what happens is you get those emotions, and that's one thing. But then you notice that those emotions are present and the brain freaks out. It's like, oh, no, I cannot feel this way. This is too much. This is too painful. I can't handle this. Is any of this familiar in your brain? I can't take these emotions any longer. There's like this panic in response to the emotion. So we've got these layers. There's the divorce. You have a normal emotional reaction to the divorce. Then you have a panic reaction to the emotional reaction. It's a lot like if you broke a leg and you're there and you've got this broken bone and you were just telling yourself, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. I can't take this. The pain is too much. The pain is too much. I can't deal with this. It can't be broken. How did it get broken? It's not. The more you freak out about the pain, the more intolerable the pain becomes. There have been a lot of studies on this around chronic pain and physical pain. And they show that mindfulness practices, actually focusing on the pain, becoming aware of it, focusing on other parts of your body as well, focusing on that mindful awareness reduces the perception of pain. And we know that pain is incredibly subjective. Again, there's a lot of studies on this. Pain is very, very subjective. It's very individual. And what the studies show us is that the story we tell about the pain changes how intense it feels to us. So when I'm sitting there in the doctor's office with this injury and I'm like, I can't take it, I can't take it. How did that even happen? I can't believe I fell off that step and broke this. Like, the more I tell myself I can't tolerate it and it's too much and it's overwhelming, the higher I'm going to rate that pain. I'm going to say my pain's a 10 out of 10. Whereas if I change my story and I say, okay, I feel the pain. It's right here in my leg. It sucks. I wish it wasn't there. And I can keep breathing, and I feel my breathing, and I feel my feet on the floor, and I feel the rest of my body. Right? All of that sends a message. That limbic awareness sends a message to the limbic system that, hey, I'm safe. I'm not dying right now. I'm in pain. It's not fun. I don't like this. But I'm also okay. You can feel you can feel large levels of pain and feel physically safe and okay at the same time. The same is true with emotions. Emotional pain is really no different than physical pain. You feel it in your body, right? It's in your chest, it's in your heart, it's in your stomach, it comes up into your forehead. Right? All of the sensations of emotion, they're not that different than the sensations of physical pain. But most of us, and especially the men that I work with who are going through divorce, they've been taught their whole lives to suppress their emotions, to avoid feeling them. That's how they've coped with emotions, because that's what they were told they had to do to be desirable men, right? Suck it up, don't be a sissy, don't be a pussy, don't cry, be tough. And they get very, very good at that. But divorce is such a disruptive life event that it's beyond most people's capacity to suppress. We all have a limit of how much we can suppress. And so the emotions come out. And often it's even more than that. It's not just the emotions of the divorce. If you've been suppressing emotions your whole life, if you suppressed it when your mom died, when your dog died, when you lost your job, when you had that accident, like when you were divorced the first time or rejected by your high school girlfriend, if you've stuffed all of those emotions down your whole life, it's like they've been, stacking up and building pressure inside a bottle. And then the divorce comes and it's like the whole bottle explodes. And now not only are you dealing with the intense emotions around the divorce that every human feels, you are also feeling all of the suppressed emotions that got released at the same time. Every single man I work with, we don't work just on the divorce. The divorce wakes up all kinds of old pain. And this is one of the reasons why men tell me over and over the pain of divorce is the worst pain they've ever had. I've had war veterans tell me that it's worse than battle. I've had parents who have lost children to suicide tell me that this was even harder. Do not underestimate the intensity of this pain. And it's because, one, divorce itself is incredibly painful. But second, there's all this other stuff you've suppressed your whole life that's coming out too. So we have all of this emotion, which is a lot to deal with already. It's like a compound fracture in both legs, right? There's a lot of pain here. But then on top of that, we have a brain that only has one strategy for coping with emotion, right? It's shove it down, suppress it, don't look at it, pretend it isn't there. There's too much. You can't do that. That's not working. And you don't have any other tools for dealing with this pain. And so the brain freaks out and it goes into that panic response. And it's like, no. I can't feel this. It's too much. It's overwhelming. I can't survive this. I've met a lot of men like you. You're doing all of the right things. You're in therapy. You're going to support groups or divorce care. You're watching Eckhart Tolle and Mel Robbins on YouTube. And you're reading all of the personal development books. But you're still waking up at 3 a.m. with your heart racing and thoughts of your ex-wife in your mind that won't stop. You are working too hard at this to still be going into a cold sweat at every kid drop-off. Comment the word change on this video and I will send you a free divorce recovery training that will change your life. And if you try to think your way out of it, you are just gonna here's another reason it doesn't work. You're gonna get tied up in knots. Because what happens when you're in a panic? You're in fight or flight. And what happens to the brain in fight or flight? It changes. The parts of your conscious mind that you have access to in fight or flight change. We know, the research shows us, your vision literally narrows. You become hyper-focused on the problem. This is great if the problem is like a lion charging you and you need to get away from it. It's not good if your problem is strong emotions that are causing you to panic, because now you're hyper-focused on the problem, the divorce, your ex-wife or soon-to-be ex-wife. That's all you can think about. You're so focused on it. Okay, so that the fact that you're panicked is also going to keep you stuck in this loop that's going to keep producing more panic, because you're going to be hyper-focused on the problem. And we also know that being in fight or flight it makes you very self-centered. You see everything is happening to you or because of you. It becomes very, very difficult to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. And what this means for men going through divorce is that they're very likely to experience anything their ex does as being about them or an attack on them, or they're going to take it the other way and blame themselves for absolutely everything that's happening, right? Because in that fight or flight state, in that panic brain, they can't see outside of themselves. And we know this, right? We know this is one of the changes that fight or flight makes in the brain. But then you take this poor person who's got really strong emotions and then is panicking about those emotions, who's going through divorce, and now they have to go through a legal process. Now they have to talk to a mediator. Now they have to make decisions that are going to impact their financial future and the future of their children. This is not a state you want to be in when you make those kinds of decisions. But because if you keep trying to solve it with your logical brain, you're going to get stuck there. Because the logical brain, one, isn't working properly. It's being altered by your fight or flight, so it's being hyper-focused on the problem, and it's hyper-focused on everything being about you, right? And as long as you're in that mindset, that logical brain, it's just not doing its job properly. And even if it was working properly, it's not the part of the brain that can calm down your nervous system or make the pain more tolerable. It doesn't have the right neural connections. So no amount of asking why or answering why or unpacking the past is going to soothe the intense emotions you're feeling. If anything, it's just going to exacerbate them because it's going to feed that panic, that sense that you can't fix this. What we need to do is approach the emotional problem with emotional tools. Limbic awareness is the tool that I have that I see working amazingly well. I said 30 days in the title of this video. I have clients who write me a week, 2 weeks in, and they say, wow, Rachel, it's so different. Just the other day in my Better Beyond Divorce community, somebody posted and he was like, look, I've only been in the program about a week, but I am so much calmer. The pain is less intense. Yes, there's still some work to do, but he's no longer panicking and he's shifted into that mindful awareness of pain that we know that the studies show us bring down the perceived intensity. So he's gone from like a 12 out of 10 on the pain chart down to a 4 in a week. Right? So we can do, when we activate the right part of the brain, we can get amazing relief. So if you want to learn more about limbic awareness and how to actually do this step by step, come with me into my free masterclass where I teach you the exact strategy that I use with my clients to regulate their nervous system so that they can stop the pain and start letting their ex-wives go in just 30 days. Type change into the comments below this video and I will send you the link to the masterclass.